The PVF playoffs took place last night, and man, two great games last night. Let's get into the recaps, and let's start the first one with the Indy Ignite against Omaha Supernovas. Indy, they dealt with some injuries throughout the year. They lost 7 of their last 8 games, and they barely made the playoffs, and they was taking on the number 1 Omaha Supernovas, who have been the best team all year, led behind Brooke Nunaviller, just having a phenomenal year. And even the first set, it was Crawford and Indy. She had a terrible serve. It was one of the worst. It got didn't get halfway to the net. That's how bad it was. But Indy had a 58.3 hit percentage within the first 20 points of the first set. They got off to a hot start. Some of their key players that were out had came back came back towards the end of the season, came back for this game. So some of the players they did have injured have come back, but still they didn't have as much chemistry as you would like going into a game like this. And Indy was able to win the first set 25-17. And in the regular season, Indy had lost to this team 3 times out of the 4 games they played. And it's definitely their most important game. And Indy, they got the first set win. They got it. And then going into and Brooke Nunaviller, she didn't do anything in the first set. She wasn't bad in the first set, but she didn't look her usual self. Then she finally got going in the second set. And in the second set, it was back and forth competitive game, and Lydia Martin, she had a great spike in that second set, but Omaha did end up winning 25-23 in the second set. Now it's tied 1 set apiece. And there was a lot of challenges and reviews throughout this game, and some of them took a bit of time. Luckily, I watched the games this morning, so I could fast forward past it. But there was a lot of stoppages I noticed, because I watched the 4 games, I recorded them, so I had to watch them this morning. But there was a lot of stoppages in the games with the reviews, with the challenges. But yeah, both teams once again reached 20 plus in the third set. But Omaha, they came through. They ended up winning 25-23 in the third set, just like the second set. It took a 2-1 set lead going into the fourth set, just needing 1 set to close it out. And then in the fourth set, Omaha had 5 server errors. You can't have that many server errors and expect to win. Then Anna DeBeer, she had a kill at the end of the fourth set to win it for Indy. They ended up winning 25-20, and now it's tied 2 sets apiece. And Indy stayed in it. They've been competitive each set. Each set up to this point has been competitive, except for the one that they won, except for one of the 2 that they won, which was the first set. But sets 3 through 4 were all competitive. Going into the 5th set, it's tied 2-2. And Indy has momentum. They aren't supposed to be here. I mean, they barely snuck into the playoffs. They had a lot of injuries. They were definitely the worst team going into the playoffs. And well, they proved me wrong, as in the 5th set, they would end up winning. Halfway through the 5th set, they had an 8-7 lead. Then they just used that, continue going. They was up 14-11, so they had 3 match points to work with. They ended up winning 15-13 in 5 sets. And the Indy Ignite, number 4 seed Indy Ignite upset the number 1 seed Omaha Supernovas, and something I was not expecting. And Nina Kajits, I might have said her name wrong, but she had 21 kills, 34.7 hit percentage, and she had the game-winning point for them in that 5th set. She also had 9 digs and 7 blocks through the game. So Nina from Indy, she had a great game, one of her best, probably her best of the season. So shout out to her for getting them that win. Magpur Peraza's had 62 assists and 7 digs and 4 blocks, but it wasn't enough for Omaha, and it simply came down to them not getting enough out of Brooke Nunaviller. I don't know when MVP and Coach of the Year will be announced, but Brooke Nunaviller is in that MVP race, and she didn't perform as an MVP should in a playoff game, and one that they needed, going against the worst. Omaha outmatched the team so much statistically and in the games that they played, so seeing this was very surprising. And the Indy Ignite proved me wrong. They're going to the PVF championship game, which is taking place tomorrow, and they got some good momentum. That was a fun game. I enjoyed it. Then the second game of the night was your Orlando Valkyries, the number 3 Orlando Valkyries versus number 2 Atlanta Vibe. Atlanta had won 13 of their last 14 games. Going into this, they had finished as the 2nd seed. But Orlando, high start to start the game. They won the first set 25-18. I mean, they was in control of that set from beginning to end. Then in the second set, the Vibe, they got behind late. They stayed in it a little bit. Both teams ended up getting it getting 20 points. But because of that because of how slow they started that second set, they still lost. But it wasn't as bad as the first set. They only lost by 2, losing 25-23. So now they're down 2-0. So going to this third set, they desperately need to win this third set to keep to stay alive, keep their playoff hopes alive, and the Vibe were able to do that. They ended up winning 25-18. They flipped the script from what happened in the first set and the third with a 25-18 win in the third set. So now they're only down 1-2, and it's heading to a fourth set. They still got a chance. And as Atlanta, they finally put Mary Beeson in, who was their top pick of this past draft. They put her in the game in the fourth set. She didn't have a strong showing. Probably would have been the Vibe might have been better off leaving her on the bench because she didn't have a good showing in this fourth set that she played. It was the only set she played, so maybe she just didn't have enough time in the game. Maybe they should have brought her in during the third set. But Mary Beeson, she didn't really make an impact. I mean, when she came in there, this was their worst loss of any set. This was their worst loss of any set, as Orlando won this set 25-16, beating the Atlanta Vibe in 4 sets. Once again, I was wrong about both playoff games because both teams that I expected to lose ended up winning in these games. So the finals is now the number 4 seed Indy Ignite versus number 3 seed Orlando Valkyries. I think the Vibe, maybe them getting hot just came at the wrong time because that momentum isn't going to last. It won't last forever, and it didn't last for them going into the playoffs, as they just clearly got outmatched in 2 of the 4 sets. They were able to win 1 and kept 1 close when they lost. But Orlando just looked like the better team. And I think they split the season series 2-2, if I'm not mistaken. But this was still a good game. I enjoyed this. 2 of the 4 sets were pretty competitive. And like I said, and then for the Vibe, Marley Monterey, she came through with 34 assists, 16 digs, 2 blocks, a 66.7 efficiency rate, which is really great. But she didn't get much from the other people. Leah Edmonds, she didn't have a great game. She was the MVP last year. Still in the race this season, but she could have had a better game. Cora Lewis won the Rising Star. I think she won Rising Star of the Year. She could have played better as well. The whole team could have played better. It's not just, this loss hasn't just gone one person. But the finals tomorrow with Indy and Orlando is going to be entertaining. I'm excited for it, and I hope that's a good game. And Porpon Gumpard had 46 assists and 14 digs, and she played in all 4 sets for Orlando. So really great game from her, really great team win from the Orlando Valkyries. So with that being said, so the playoffs been fun so far. Both semifinals matchups were pretty entertaining. Hopefully the championship game is great as well. The recap will be out as well, either immediately after the game or the day following or the morning following that. It just depends. We'll see. But leave a like on this video, a comment if you watch the games, did you enjoy them, and subscribe to the channel for more volleyball and sports content in general. Peace.